Hi everyone, my name is Hirnama Bhaskar or Octopus on GitHub and welcome to my YouTube channel. This video is about compiling Musescore and setting up a developer environment to develop Musescore in. I'm making this video not because I have any kind of doubt on the quality of the documentation Musescore has on its GitHub. I'm making it to make it easier for the newcomers to start contributing to Musescore. So I have been contributing to Musescore since January, and since January and after 9 PRs, I still feel like compiling Musescore the first time was the toughest job for me in this entire journey. So I hope this video helps anyone out there to start contributing to Musescore. And if you have any kind of question or you run into any kind of problem, just feel free to ask the questions or write the problem in the comment section below, and I'll try to answer your queries as soon as possible. Okay, so let's start. Now before starting, I would highly recommend you guys to go through Musescore's documentation on their GitHub. There are many reasons why going through a documentation is better than watching a video. The first reason in my opinion is that the documentation is always updated. Unlike a video which I can't be able to edit once it's uploaded on YouTube, the documentation can be updated regularly and you will find it easier to navigate through the documentation rather than going through this video and finding where that specific part was. Just like Musescore's documentation on their GitHub, this tutorial will have not five, but 4 steps. We are skipping a step called compiling on the command line because it's an optional step, and everything else follows, right? We will first set up a developer environment, then we will install Qt and Qt Creator, then we will get Musescore source code, and after that we will be compiling it in Qt Creator. First of all, we need to go to Musescore's GitHub. Now on the main GitHub page, if we scroll down, we will find a building section. And in this building section, we are interested in the Musescore wiki link, right? And in here, we are going to the compilation part. So let's start with setting up the developer environment. So the first thing that we will need is a package manager. So what this does is it makes it easier for us to get the tools we need to compile Musescore, and it makes our life really a lot easier than just going to their page and downloading every software, and yep, it makes it very easy for us to do. So I'm going to use Chocolatey over here, and the installation is pretty simple. I'm just going to go to their page, just click on the link, and then I'm going to copy the code which is given to me right over here. I'm going to copy it and then I'm going to paste it in PowerShell, and make sure to run PowerShell in admin mode so that we don't run into any permission problem. So now I'm going to paste the code which we just copied, and I'm going to press enter. This will take a minute maybe to install, and after this we will be ready to install CMake and Git. Okay, so in the end here, just to check if Chocolatey was installed correctly, I ran choco space -v. If this gives you a version of Chocolatey, this means that Chocolatey was installed correctly. If not, then you need to go back and see if you have made any mistake, and if nothing helps you, the comment section is always open and you can ask me anything. Okay, so now I'm going to copy this gsudo command from the documentation, and I'm going to paste it in the same PowerShell window, and I'm going to press enter. So this will ask me if I want to run all the scripts, so I'm just going to press A and then I'm going to press enter. So this takes a while, I guess. No, this is done already. So now let's start installing our tools. The first thing we will need is CMake, and the installation process is like the same as gsudo. So as I said, it makes our life really easy using a package manager. So just like that, we have started the installation. And what CMake does is it helps us compile Musescore. Yep. It makes a bunch of it compiles bunch of files, it does a lot. Yep, it's taking a while. It's done. Now I'm going to install Git. The same process as before. I'm going to copy the code and I'm going to paste it in the same window. To be honest, you don't need to paste it in the same window. I've installed gsudo, so you can paste it in a non-admin admin PowerShell window as well. But why to do extra work, right? We have already opened a window and I'm just going to use that one. So while it installs, I would say that you should learn Git and GitHub before contributing to Musescore, because I learned it the hard way. I know the community is very nice, they will always try to help you, but still, I feel like when I was when I was contributing to Musescore, I was making very silly mistakes, so I always felt like a burden on them for some reason. I know they don't feel it like that way, but yep, it's also really embarrassing if you make silly mistakes like that. So yep, it's a good idea to first learn Git and GitHub, then maybe start contributing. And to be honest, I don't think learning Git and GitHub will take you that long. So now that you're done with installing Git and GitHub, there are a few optional steps to make your developer environment even better. You can follow these steps from the documentation on Musescore's GitHub, but for this tutorial, I'm going to be skipping them. Now, apart from what was said on the documentation, I recommend you to install a few more softwares. The first one is VS Code. So I just googled VS Code and it started downloading by the first link. And yep, let's wait for it to download. Now the installation is really simple. We just need to click next, 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 and it's done. Now after VS Code, the next thing I would recommend you guys to install is GitHub Desktop. As a beginner, it's really user friendly, and I think it will make your learning Git and GitHub journey far easier than just doing it through the terminal. So you need a GitHub account to use GitHub Desktop and GitHub. So it's a good idea if you to make one right now. If you already have one, just sign in. I'm going to make a new one because I have already forked Musescore on my original account. So yes, I'm making a new username for my new account and I'm going to sign up with my email account. This is an alternative email account, so don't judge me for the email. Okay, so this is new for me. Okay. So I'm going to click on always here because I'm going to be using this integration between the browser and GitHub Desktop a lot more in future. So it just makes future steps less in a way. So yep. Okay, so now we start the most important step of this tutorial, and that is to install Qt and Qt Creator. So Qt needs a compiler to compile a C++ files. So to compile C++ files, there are two options. We have MinGW and MSVC. MinGW does not work with Musescore anymore. MSVC is our only option. Now to get MSVC, we need to install Visual Studio, and MSVC comes bundled with Visual Studio. So I'm just going to install it. To download it, I just went to their site, and yep, it's for a simple download. I downloaded the community version where it's free, and in the installation, please check the desktop development in C++, and we only need two component, MSVC and Windows Development SDK, I guess. Yep. So these are the two components you only need to make the compilation possible for Musescore. So yep, here's a list. You can confirm it with yours, and after confirming, I'm just going to install it on my system. So the installation will take a long time, so I'm just going to speed up the process. So now I'm just going to start Visual Studio one time, just to make sure everything is working fine. You don't need to do this, but I'm just doing this to make sure everything works fine. And yep, it works. Now the main part. Now let's get back to the main part, installing Qt and Qt Creator. Just click on the link and download Qt. And over here you need to sign in. I already have an account, so I won't be creating one again, but it's a simple process, so you can follow it easily. Just sign up or sign in if you already have one, and click next. Now accept the user agreements, and so over here I am choosing not to send any information, and please select custom installation, and over here just select LTS and filter. And now I'm going to use a Qt 5.1.2, I guess, and just make sure you select everything I'm selecting over here. Click next, then again check the box and just start installation. This will take a lot of time as well, so yep. So now let's just launch Qt and see what it looks like. Here's Qt Creator. You'll be seeing it again soon. Yep. So now let's start with cloning the project. So to clone, I'm simply going to go to Musescore's main repository, and I'm going to fork it on my GitHub. Make sure it saves my profile, and I'm just going to create a fork. Now let's wait for it to complete forking. After it's forked, I need to clone it on my local machine. I'm just going to open it with GitHub desktop. It will do this job for me. Now here you can choose any path, but as you can see my C drive is full, so I'm using a different place to store Musescore. So this folder will contain all the files of Musescore locally. Now make sure you select to contribute to parent project over here if you want to make contributions to Musescore. And after this we need to add the dependencies of Windows to the directory of Musescore. Now to get the dependencies, we need to go back to the documentation, and if you scroll down you will find a section where it says adding required dependencies, and over here you will find a link to a 7-zip file. Just download that and also download 7-zip to extract that file. So it's a simple process as well to install 7-zip. Now just extract that file using 7-zip and paste this folder to the main directory of Musescore which you cloned on your system. So for me it's here. I'm just going to paste it, and now we are done with that. Okay, so the next step is to add Windows SDK, but we have already done that step while downloading Visual Studio, so we don't need to do this again. You can just skip this. And now let's start the next step, which is compiling Musescore. Okay, so first of all we are going to go directly to the compile with Musescore page, and then you have to follow a few steps to make our project work correctly. So first of all, let's start by opening Qt Creator app. Now over here we need to go to edit, then preferences, and we need to change a few settings. So let's first start by going to build and run, and then default. Now we need to copy this piece of text and paste it in default build directory, and then don't forget to hit apply after every step. And now after this we need to change the default CMake prefix. So to do this we need to go to edit, preferences, and then the kit tab. So it's just the top one, and then we need to select the compiler which we are using. So for us it is MSVC. Don't mind the UWP thing. Just select that one and scroll down until you find a CMake configuration, and just click configure and add that line to the end. As you can see, I have already added that line in my CMake configuration file, so I don't need to add that again. And now let's just open the project. So in the main directory there is a file called CMake list. So here's my Musescore directory, and here's a text file CMake list. I'm just going to open it. So this screen will take you to a different option where you will need to select only release and maybe debug with some info, and just click. Now there are a few things we need to do here. So I just started by going to the project tab, and then from here we need to go to build, and then we need to edit the build settings. So in the current configuration tab in the build page we need to search for install, CMake install prefix to be specific, and just make sure it says install. If it does not say install, maybe you have done something wrong in the previous steps, so please make sure you have done everything correctly. Now after this, in run tab we need to go under here in deployment and click on add CMake build. Make sure only install is selected. As you can see, I have already a build part above this, so I'm just going to delete this. They are both basically the same thing. And now in run field I'm going to click add, and over here I'm going to select custom executable, and I'm just going to put these values. First of all, I'm going to rename it to Musescore installed, and then I'm going to put some of these values in the run field over here. So now we are basically done with the most of the setup part. Now just need to go back to edit, and we can just start compiling. So as you can see, most of my files are already compiled. It will not be the same for you guys. It will take a lot of time. So after it's done compiling, you will see Musescore starting. So thanks for watching the video. I hope this video helped anyone out there compiling Musescore, and happy journey contributing to Musescore.